No, yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so let's swap everything over here. All right, so now we should have everyone live and active.
Hi.
Hello. So guys, this is Solsey. We took the opportunity
Hello.
to try and do what we could to reach out to some people, obviously with everything going on, and meet some of the beautiful personalities that are out there on Mixer. And much to the recommendation, we've had a couple people pick that up and say, you know what, you should interview these people, and we're trying to go through that list right now. So we decided to reach out to Solsey to bring her onto the show. So Solsey, if you wouldn't be too scared about it, why don't you give us the rundown of how you got started, who you are, what you do, what you play?
At the moment, I play a lot of Animal Crossing, but that's a little bit abnormal because I spent about a year playing just GTA.
Gotcha. Wait, did you do RPs?
No. I'm more of a kind of my host just moved. I just noticed my host moved. I'm more of a like a community gamer. So
Oh,
we
okay.
game all together and do like lots of different things like playlists, grinding, that kind of stuff, making
Gotcha.
money, make a lot of money. So that's what everyone always needs in GTA. But I started about a year and a half ago, straight from Xbox. I streamed Fallout 4 with my friends. And then, yeah, I did a bit of Xbox stuff. I already had a PC for gaming, so I just kind of got a capture card and moved over pretty shortly after that. And I've mostly streamed GTA, but we're really into Animal Crossing right now, a lot like the rest of the
My
world.
my girlfriend loves Animal Crossing. She's been
So
thrilled playing
nice.
that title, and I can't begin to fathom or understand Animal Crossing just because of my play style. But tell me, just for humor purposes, tell me the first time you interacted with a wasp nest in a tree. What was that experience like?
It was just a run. I still run from them, even though I know that you can't like run from them. Like, you can't run from them. It's not actually
Have you
possible.
have you ever have you ever seen the video of the guy who gets away from him?
Really? Did he get
Yeah.
in the house? Because
Uh,
that's
uh,
the only way you can get away.
yes,
You
yeah,
get in the
yeah. But
house.
apparently, like it was like a full minute and a half or something like that he's running away. But apparently, they don't take like tight corners or something like that. Well, so if you can like loop around
Oh.
trees or something, they have a hard time with that. And so the beautiful thing is that you can kind of escape them that way, grab their honey, run back into the
Interesting.
house as you stated, and get them to despawn, and then go back out, and you've got everything without having to use medicine or anything like that.
If
So I
you
don't know.
if you shake your trees first with a net, then you can normally catch them, and then you can do like your wood chopping. But I'm way too lazy for that. I just kind of go
Oh,
straight in.
so wait, you can shake trees?
Yeah, you shake trees to get branches out, and then you chop them. My eyelashes are driving me insane. And then you chop them to get the wood out. So,
Oh, okay,
and then
all
you can
right.
also chop them in half as well. You can
This,
chop them in half. You can
I
chop them down.
I feel like there's always something going on in that game. So GTA, we've got Animal Crossing. What kind of other things do you do? I mean, obviously, I hear great things about the community. So what kind of other great things do you do to build with the community, to interact with the community in a more, I guess, involved fashion?
I think the main thing that we do is game together. That's the main thing. So I often will play community-based games. That's kind of what I'm known for. Rather than sort of doing solo stuff, I like to have people like in the game with me. So like, say on Christmas Day we streamed, and then we had a party in my penthouse on GTA.
Wow.
And then like a fireworks show, and we all had Christmas outfits on and stuff like that. I like because it's like all of us together in a virtual world, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm known for, really.
So is there
Um,
is there a maximum amount of people that you can involve in Grand Theft Auto?
yeah, but it's like a lot.
Too many. All
You can
right.
involve, yeah, you can involve a lot of people in GTA.
Well, that's one of the things that I loved about Jackbox is that, you can have a ton of people who are in the audience, a ton of people who are doing, whatever it is, and they can still interact with you. Even if they're not actively playing that round, you can still have people that can sit back and play, affect the game, interact with some of the other, viewers from the audience base. And it makes it more of that, I guess, drive to want to be there. And so I love that about Grand Theft Auto, that you can bring people on in any walk, any area. So what challenges do you have then? Because it's not cross-platform, right?
No, it's not. So, I mean, obviously, Mixer is quite a big Xbox platform.
Hmm.
So we play on Xbox, but I think people that do RP tend to play on PC and RP
Hmm. Hmm.
servers. Um, so that's kind of the difference there. Um, but one of the challenges that we get on Xbox is that it's really easy to pull your IP address out of the game and DDoS
Oh.
you. So,
Oh.
yeah. Um, I've been DDoSed, I think it was 3 times before I got protection for it. It was when I sort of decided I was going to play GTA as my primary game. But yeah, the last time I was DDoS, I was taken down like twice. But yeah, people, it's very easy to do it. But you just pull the IP address out and then they can DDoS you if you don't put protection on.
Well,
So
that's a horrible thing to have to deal with. I'm sorry that you've run
yeah,
into a situation where people are, kind of taking advantage of it. Which, I mean, I have to ask, what other challenges have you run into with, I would say some of the negative quote unquote expectations that people have as a female on a platform and a streamer. You always see that there are content creators out there doing whatever they want to do, which, that's their
yeah.
thing. Do you feel like there's just an expectation that, if someone were to walk into your stream, that I should be looking for X or Y because it's bound to be there?
There's a lot of young children, and I do say young children because I'm sure it's children by the way that they talk, that come in and like ask to be. They think it's some sort of like weird dating site. Like they want to. They're not rude about it. The bulk of them aren't rude. There's only a few that are, if I'm honest. The bulk of them are just like, oh, you're so pretty. Do you want to be my girlfriend? Are you single? That kind of stuff. Like they think it is dating. It's literally just a misconception as to what streaming actually is. There's only very rarely do you get people come in and say extremely rude comments, and most of the time they do it in whispers. That's the bad thing. Those kind of
Gotcha.
comments often come in whispers. I've had some appalling comments in whispers. One thing I need to start doing is screenshotting them and keeping them, and then we can all sit and laugh with them in Discord.
Well, and the nice thing is at least at that point you also have the history. If anything ever does escalate, then you have the backdrop, the story to tell, to say, no, this has been going on for longer than you can see, and here's the proof, here's the proof, here's the proof. So it's protecting yourself in a way, just like the DDoS concept.
The best thing with reporting to do is report when you've actually got the message come in. That's why it's really hard to. That's why it's really hard to deal with people that are like ban evading. Who's back?
I would expect nothing less from Apache. Hello, Apache. Welcome.
Oh, hi. I like that crying emote. Some of the new Mixer emotes are golden and some of them are creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one, that's creepy. That one right there. That one creeps me out. Oh, let me find them. Or this guy.
So angry. That's like my cat every day.
So angry.
Steo, hello. So
it feels like you got new emotes though, doesn't it? Like you've got whole new emotes. Like
yeah, no, absolutely. So
the
the challenges on the platform, having to deal with some of the more younger audience base. What do you feel about
a lot of young viewers.
What about the older audience? Like what objections or what expectations have you found with I would say some of the older audience that you may attract?
Some people have attempted, some guys, I say guys, always guys, attempted to kind of get into my DMs and get nudes via that. That's something that like the older audience will do. They'll kind of come in as if they're trying to network, which I'm cool with. Like I'll network with whoever and be friends with whoever, and then it turns into I want more than that, and then it's just embarrassing for everyone, basically.
Yeah.
Because I have to say no. But to be fair, some of the people that have done that have turned it around and we're fine now.
Right.
I think it's to do with how you manage it, to be honest.
So then, in the transition piece of it, how do you feel like you manage this business? Because at the end of the day, I still feel like, and some people don't, like it's their dream job, but in the definition, literally by definition, it's still a job. So how do you find that you manage this business, especially with what's going on right now?
Right now, it's quite hard. Over here, we're locked down legally.
Okay.
So we can't go out. But the good news is that my hobby is something that I can do from the house rather than something that I have to physically go out and do. So at least I've not lost streaming. But basically, I block time for work and I block time for streaming. That's kind of how I do it. So I have 4 days at work, and where I spend the evenings with Sam, and sometimes we'll game with the community and stuff like that. And then I have the 3 days where I just stream. And that's like all that's about is streaming and creating content. I ideally try and get videos out every week. That's been hard at the moment because the world's gone crazy. And when you're feeling a little bit crappy, it's difficult to produce like positive and inspiring content. That can be hard. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and so you know, with which I assume Sam's the significant other.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's my other half.
Gotcha. So I was just trying to understand. So, you know, you work to spend time with your significant other. You know, you work to create content. And when you say you're creating content, do you mean in the way of just streaming, just making videos, or
No.
what other platforms are you?
Oh, well, I stream and make videos. So, like, I'll do videos on. I've got some stuff on YouTube, and I've got some stuff on Twitter. My Twitter, basically, I realised a little while ago that my Twitter is my oldest and biggest social media. So I try and use that to its maximum potential. So that's why I've kind of ended up doing a lot of shorter videos. But I do eventually want to kind of branch out properly into YouTube. Once this crisis is over, I'm hoping to, cut my hours down at work, have a day a week to spend on YouTube, getting the algorithm. So, yeah, but I've the way that I've been handling it is kind of I work a lot.
Right.
But then I also I've cut my job down very slowly, and cutting my job down by a day really made all of the difference in the world.
So I know. I know that's always a big struggle, is the consistency piece, that, you know, sometimes the streamer or the content creator stuck with having to sacrifice the full-time job in order to pursue a career in creating content. And it can rather pay off or not pay off. And it's the risk factor, I think, that some people aren't.
A little bit. If you do what I did and take little baby steps, it's not as bad. Like when I took my pay cut, it was really insignificant because it was just 1 day less.
Right.
And I actually managed to kind of claw the money back through traveling. So I travel and then I claim expenses back. So basically it's like the same as it was before.
Gotcha.
What I think is important is not to just quit your job. Like the amount of times that I've wanted to quit my job where I felt overworked and things like that, but there's this misconception that if you quit, you're going to blow up, and that's not really how that works, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
if
you
you're
know,
not already making enough to live, you shouldn't be quitting your job.
correct. Right. No, I totally agree with that. I've always had the conversation with my girlfriend and even other people that, you know, consistency is part of it, and having more time to stream, you know, because I averaged about 15 to 10 hours a week. But obviously with everything going on right now, I'm averaging closer towards, 40, 42 or something like that. Thanatos, thank you. But so having the consistency is the first step. You know, the hardest challenge is always having the time, having the energy in order to give. Electric, thank you. But having the time and the energy to put in, to give, to invest into your own growth. And it's not the day and night. It's not, as you said, the end all be all to find success. You still have to do what you can in order to, again, invest, diversify your portfolio, and grow naturally. So it does definitely take time. But do you feel like that's the foundation for growth, is consistency and time?
Or consistency. Not necessarily time. Some people will blow up immediately. There's a lot of factors. I don't think time makes a difference. Like, I think consistency makes a difference, but it's not just consistency in terms of, there's this piece of advice that you get when you start streaming, which is that you've got to stream on a schedule. And that's fine, and that's great, right? But that's not it. That's not like all of what consistency is. There's also consistency in terms of like things that are happening in your chat, there's consistency of mood, there's consistency in game. There's a whole lot of different ways in which you can be consistent. It doesn't hinge on a schedule. That's just one kind of thing. I've seen streamers blow up with terrible schedules.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's sometimes it's because they've got consistencies in other areas. So like consistency of game, for example. But yeah, time. I don't agree with time. I think everyone grows in their own time. It's very personal to you, to be honest, how fast you grow. It depends on how fast you learn and adapt and deal with things.
Right. I mean,
and how naturally good you are at it, because some people just get in and they're like a duck to water and they're amazing, and that wasn't me. I had to work on myself a lot to be half decent.
Well, so when you say half decent, to what specifically are you referring?
So when I first started
Apache,
streaming, I had a lot of anxiety. Oh my gosh. No, it's my anxiety. It's always a thing for me that holds me back. Like when I first started, I wouldn't stream on my own. I wouldn't. I had 6 months where I never streamed on my own. Not at all, ever.
Do you mean co-streams?
Scared. Yeah, I would always co-stream, or I'd at least be in a party, if not co-streaming.
Gotcha.
For about a year, if not longer. So that was it was really bad for the chat to do that. Like, there needs to be time that you have. Oh, what happened to me? There I am. Hello. There needs to be time that you have where it's you and your chat. It can't just be like constant co-streams. But I had to work on that anxiety. I had to learn to talk to myself, because I naturally have a tendency to go quiet, which I think a lot of people that have never streamed before do have, because they're used to just sitting and gaming and chilling, and they're not used to talking constantly. And you have to be talking even when no one in chat's talking, because you can have 30 people in chat and no one talks.
Right.
But people are still listening.
Right.
And if you keep talking, you bring them back.
I think it's always the challenge, right? And it's by that I mean that you have the capability to attempt to interact, but it's finding the correct words, the correct way to state something that can draw someone back in. And
Yeah.
I feel like we were actually having a conversation about this with Mr. Wild Starfish just last week, Sunday. And how, one of the things that he's had to overcome in trying to do IRL streams and things like that is just his personal anxiety that he has to get over to feel like he can interact with someone. And, when they're there and in person, it's a little bit different, but it also gives him the anonymity. So being behind the screen, in a sense, yes, they can see you, they can interact with you, but it's knowing that there is someone on the other side, but that they're not, it's the tension piece. They're not the cloud that's looming over you, trying to force you away. That you can still talk with them. You can still grow. You can still build a relationship without the threat of not being able to get away. Yeah,
the relationship building is the most crucial thing, I think. A lot of streamers don't. I know that a lot of people have blown up. A lot of people have blown up and they don't talk to their chat and they don't build the relationships. But I think that when you first start, especially, the relationships are so important. Because your very foundation is your friendships. Your very foundation for your base is your friendships, and if you've not got those strong connections with people, it's just not going to grow. So,
well, I mean, we're all human. We all want love. We all want to have a real relationship with someone, and so I think that friendly interaction is what we're all kind of seeking. And so, how do you feel like? In a comparison, when you're talking about gaming, like Mixer, Twitch, DLive, YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform you pick, I think they've done a fantastic job to set our future up in the way of streaming, to build relationships with people beyond just the bounds of what you normally saw through, like Xbox party interactions or PlayStation or PC or, WoW and Discord and Ventrilo and all that. I feel like they've set us up for the future to have even people who are non-gamers being able to interact and see different aspects of the world, different people, different cultures. So how do you feel that our personal growth as a culture, as a society, as human beings interacting with other human beings we haven't had the opportunity to because of time or money, how do you feel like that's going to evolve in the future through streaming?
Through streaming? I don't know. I like the developments in virtual reality and stuff like that. I
Right.
mean, one of my favorite things about streaming is that it allows me to connect with people across the world who I never would have connected with before. Like there's people, like so many people that I meet from different countries, and I just wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet those people. And that's like one of the things that I think about it. I think that it just expanded my entire world when I started streaming, and I think that's why it was so addictive to me um, to stream, especially in the very beginning. Um, but there's a lot of people that watch streams that are, otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to go out. There's a lot of people that have got anxiety, there's, physical health problems, that kind of stuff. And it enables them to have social interaction with people. And especially now when our entire country is stuck inside, I just going over, Animal Crossing, GTA, we all go and hang out together and have a party or whatever. And it's like you can get out of reality for a little bit and you can actually, get into the game and meet people. And yeah, I just think games have more value with people in them for sure.
I
Than
definitely
just like on your own.
I definitely think that you see, going back a bit to the success piece, you see more success or more growth when you find a stream, even if it's a person talking to themselves. It just doesn't seem as interesting as a person talking to another person. So like,
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just thinking that, you see, I'm just thinking about if I was to watch a stream. So if I was going to come and watch a new streamer, right, I would be really, but this is because I'm a streamer myself. But if I saw someone streaming and talking and the chat wasn't talking back and they were just talking and they kept doing it and they kept entertaining, regardless of what the chat was doing, I'd be so impressed. Like that would be my reaction. Like I would follow them. So it's just that I was just thinking that's sort of contrary to what you were saying. But yeah, I would be impressed by that for sure.
Well, I think it
It's a
swings both
skill.
ways. I think part of the entertainment piece is being able to continue, regardless of the same as a professor sitting up at the front of a classroom. The students aren't really talking back, but they're still in a way trying to hold and captivate the audience through the potential of learning. So it's just being able to shift to do two different paradigms. When people are willing to talk, entertain that value and being able to interact back in a back and forth, but also still being able to shift when no one's willing to say anything, when no one's willing to speak back up and continue on just as the conversation would. So I definitely think that streaming requires a little bit of an adaptation, a little bit of an evolution of the self in order to grow and challenge yourself outside of the boundaries of what's normal.
You have to get comfy in front of a camera. Like that's so important. Like I know a lot of people don't use cameras, but that's a big thing. Like that's a huge thing that you need to get used to. I used to have my camera, like I have it where my chat is now, but I used to have it up there pointing down at me with a weird angle, and I wasn't even looking at it, and I was like pretending it wasn't there. And yeah, it's just that's something else, because when you look into a camera, it looks like you're looking at the person,
Right.
and that's important. That's a big tip for any new streamers. Look into your camera.
Absolutely. I mean, I know me personally, like I've got it at a weird angle. I've got it up there, but mostly because, before I had it, it was like right here. And just as you said, I used to have it like right over the chat. So basically I'd have my TV and then the chat. And so I could just look up. But now, in order to encompass and allow for VR back in this region, I had to move it.
I haven't said that yet.
Oh, thank you. I move the camera up there and chat's here. So someone says something and I move up here and then I'm back or back to gameplay or, whatever. It's just, I think it's learning. I know one of the tricks that someone had offered to a newer streamer was put googly eyes up there. Like just weird little googly eyes. If you put it up there, then you're willing to talk to it like it's a person, because it helps you to remember, like that's a person up there. You need to interact with them.
But you see, I'm shy in person, so that doesn't work for me.
Okay.
No way. I literally, the only way that I could do it is my camera has like a flip out thing.
Yeah.
And so basically, because it's got that flip out thing, I instinctively look because I'm moving around. So I'm looking at myself. And then it makes it sort of That's the only thing that's ever made me force me to eye contact with the camera is looking at myself.
Well, and there's always
It's kind of weird.
there's always that psychological study I think that they did where, if you're seeing yourself in an image, just like, oh my God, I'm on TV, like you want to watch, you want to stare, because it's almost that, not narcissism, but like that self interest, like something's going on and I'm doing something, I need to pay attention to it. And it's the same thing with, like webcam chats or FaceTime. Like people spend more time looking at themselves than they do the other person. And I don't know why.
Am I allowed to vape on your stream, by the way?
Oh yeah, we're 18 plus right now, so you're good. And you're in a legal area, so again, we're good.
Yeah, we're allowed to vape in this country.
Yeah.
It's legal here, goddammit.
But no, yeah, we're set to 18 plus, so we're good. But no,
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that there's always the potential for a person to make it more involved, more interactive, and more personal, more intimate through the use of a camera. So
Yes,
I would have to ask, obviously I'm sure you've seen, I apologize. I'm sure you've seen that there are partners out there who've gotten partner without necessarily having a camera. But how do you feel like that influences a stream's growth or a stream's potential through that level of interaction?
Well, people that I know that have been partnered without a camera usually use something like FaceRig. So I've got a friend who's partnered, and he at one point was doing streams with like a mask on, but mostly he has the FaceRig. And I think that that's much better than nothing. And it can be like a pulling point, because it's like, oh, this guy's a cute animal, if you don't know what FaceRig is. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I do think that it takes away, because the thing about streaming, when we were talking about this earlier, we've touched on this earlier, is it's like a window into your world.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I ditched my green screen. Because people want to see where you are, really,
Right.
And that kind of stuff. So I think that if you take away the face and the facial expressions, even with FaceRig trying its hardest, it's still, for me personally, not as good.
Right.
You don't connect as well. I'd sooner watch a streamer wearing a mask than, with FaceRig on.
Well, and
That's
so
just my opinion.
no, I would agree. But we've had the discussion before, I believe in interview and off of interview in the stream, that, there are two different types of worlds when you're talking about streaming, that you're focused more on gameplay or you're focused more on the community or the involvement with the streamer. And usually,
There's 3 different types, isn't there?
tell me the third.
So there's community builders, there's gamers, and there's entertainers.
I still think entertainers and community builders end up falling under the same blanket.
People say that about me, but I would disagree. I don't think I'm an entertainer at all.
Do you entertain an audience?
Yeah, but like so does like Shroud, but he doesn't entertain with himself.
Entertaining through gameplay or entertaining through the streamer? That's what it boils down to, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. You could break it down that.
And you can definitely like make subdivisions, I personally think. Like,
okay.
I'm just, but usually you see the divide accordingly. So, if you're there for gameplay, more times you see a person who's running a green screen, you see more detachment away from the individual. It doesn't really work for Ninja or Shroud because, they're top tier. And that's kind of the world that was created back then. They've created such a visual image and a branding around that it's almost hard to change now. But you look at someone like
people that try and... Sorry, I cut you off. Carry on.
No, it's all right. But no, it's okay. But you look at someone like, let's say Dr. Disrespect, and he's completely removed and the focus is on the gameplay. Again, same thing with Shroud. Focus is on the gameplay. Ninjas focus on the gameplay. They're all top tier players for what they're doing, from Fortnite to Apex or, whatever it is. They're... Go ahead.
Ninja's also an entertainer. He's not just a gamer. Like, one of the reasons why Ninja blew up is because he did some ridiculous tricks on Fortnite,
right?
And then like intentionally ridiculous, and then posted them on social media. That's like one of the big tips to his success. That's why everyone tells you to post stream clips. Like that's one of the reasons why a lot of his stuff went viral, and that's one of the reasons why he got popular.
So but
yeah,
Tricks is still gameplay, right?
No, because it's kind of, it's not just, oh yeah, I shot this guy really, you know, whatever. I'm not really into shooting. But like, it's more sort of creativity in what he did, kind of thing, rather than, you know, it just being that he's good. It's just that he took ridiculous risks.
Well, and I think it goes back to the point of content creation that, you know, at the end of the day, it requires more than just, you know, being one type. That it requires the adaptation piece, that you have to explore different avenues like YouTube. You have to explore, you know, how you interact with Twitter. So I agree. All I was making the... Go ahead.
I mean, the reason for that is, I mean, the reason why you have to interact with other things like Twitter and YouTube and whatever, TikTok, etc., is because streaming's not a discoverability platform. So it's you're only recommended if you're already popular.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
So, I mean, I have so many people that I follow now. I have to scroll about 6 times.
Oh, yeah.
Before I get to someone on 30 viewers. So like it's just, that's the way that the algorithm works. Whereas if you're on, you know, like YouTube or Twitter or something like that, Twitter especially, like one big person picks it up and you can blow up a tweet.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you just need that one person to like it or retweet it.
It's the luck of the draw, but I still think that, you know, going back to the concept that you've got, you know, the person who's more around the concept of entertainment, they're more around, you know, what you're there for. You're there for them. You're not there for the gameplay, who ends up running more of I need a personal touch. So the same as what you have, you've removed the green screen, you removed everything, and you're looking into the world of the individual, because again, that makes it more intimate. So it's knowing that that's the market audience for the sale. Whereas, you know, doing it on the flip side, you're saying remove everything else from the picture. You only need me because you want to see my reactions. And then you only need the gameplay because that's what you're coming for, is top-notch gameplay.
Yeah.
So
many people that are trying to do that, though. Like, I just feel like that approach is very saturated.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of people that go in and like, oh, I'm a professional gamer, I'm so
right.
good. And then they can't get the viewer base because they haven't got the personality. Or it's not that, I don't think it's even necessarily that you haven't got the personality. It's that you're not showing that. I think if you just watched my gameplay and I didn't talk, it'd be like a horrendously dull time for everyone.
And there's always exceptions to the rule. I mean, you always see, sorry, not always. You will end up seeing players who, you know, they might not be there for the gameplay. You're there for the interaction, that still use a green screen. As a prime example, even through chat, even with Apache and running mod for Metro Birdman, he runs green screen. Yeah. But you're definitely there for Metro Birdman. You're not there for top notch, you know, like full sweat gameplay. He's fun. Yeah. He's a great player. He
plays a lot of different games for a start. He plays complete variety. So
right.
Be there for one game.
Right. You're there for Metro. So like I still green think screen, that there are back and forths to it.
Yeah, it's not a case of the green screen equals professional gamer.
Oh no, absolutely.
And non-green screen equals non-professional gamer. It depends entirely on what's behind you, in my opinion.
Right.
Like if you they say with a green screen, don't they? That like if you're like streaming out of a cupboard, then you should put a green screen up because your background's going to look horrendous.
Right.
It just really depends on what's behind you. But I do think for me, once I kind of realised what kind of streamer I wanted to be, which was community builder, I, you know, wanted to feed into that as much as possible. And one of those methods was getting rid of the green screen. So.
No one wants to see your bed or your unmade bed or your dirty washing. Please clean. No, I've
got no boxes behind me.
I've gotten the get out of your grandma's basement all the time. So like I get it. Everyone.
Is that dark in there? Is that the reason? It's.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's just, you know, I've got the old chair, and
I like that chair.
Yeah, I've sat in it for 24-hour stretch period once, so I'm good.
So nice.
But it's comfortable. Mr. Wild Starfish has a chair that's very, very similar. The whole American like Western high back. I love them. I love these chairs. I think that they're elegant.
I think it looks like you should be sat in a smoking lounge with like
exactly
a smoking jacket and a cigar.
Exactly. I mean, I could do like the whole Metro Birdman look and probably really pull this off because it would just have like a whole air about it. No pun intended. But yeah, it would be fun. It would be fun. I'll do a Metro Birdman cosplay and run a stream that way. Me out here trying to steal his viewership. No, but
Nick's the second best dressed.
second best dressed on Mixer. Yeah, be up there playing paladins.
Oh gosh.
I'll get one of those paint on suits instead. You know, the fake tuxedos. Yeah, the t-shirt tuxedo, exactly. Perfect. But no, yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun because I just like it adds the sense of intimacy that you know, when you can see a person's reality, when you can see a person's environment, it does create that because you feel like you're there. So tell us about your room. Tell us how this came to be, you know, what you created.
Well, I used to stream out of my top bedroom, but then I sort of took this room over. Because I was sort of wedged in behind a cupboard upstairs. This is one of my bedrooms in my house, but it's on the same floor as my lounge, so it doesn't make sense to use it as a bedroom. But this is the whole room. What you see is the whole room. It's tiny. But if you got a tiny room, the trick is to get some nice lights.
So
like,
it's
literally nice lights in the shelf. You saw it.
Gotcha.
And I got all my Fallout merch on there. You can't see all of it because there's two more shelves.
Agility, agility and guns, science.
I can't remember which ones I've got. I've not looked in there for ages.
How you doing, Club?
Can't see it. You can't see it. But
Metro came over just for that.
Metro. He's gonna be Mix's second best dressed. Second best.
Oh, we were making the joke that I needed to put on a paint on suit and get a cigar. Name my stream title, Second Best Dressed on Mixer, play Paladins, and sit here in this elegant chair. Hopefully, like literally right behind you. You know, like you've got 150 views, and I've got like 149.
Why don't you just get a cardboard cutout of him and then put it in your background?
Oh my God, that's perfect, Metro. I need a cardboard cutout of you. If you could just send that over.
Like with his arms folded. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Just real in contention and anger.
You gotta look a little bit snobby as well. Like.
Yeah. Perfect. The Metro smolder. That's what we need to go for. Hi. So we've got the Fallout bit. How did the eggplant come to be?
Oh gosh, it came from an emote in Discord.
Oh yikes!
It literally just came from there, and then it kind of went out of control, and then everything became purple and eggplanty. So I mean, the only thing about it is like I'm never going to be able to do like children's stuff.
Right.
that's the only negative. Like, don't brand around like eggplants if you want to do like teen streams and kids stuff, but that's not really my bag anyway. So.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that manage their streams successfully without ever going below 18 plus.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, because let's face it, you've probably gotten a blueberry, as you stated. You've probably gotten a blueberry too, who comes in, who's like, "Hey, I'm 12, 1v1 me, let's go, whatever."
1v1 me on Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, quit playing GTA and play Fortnite with me. But it happens. I mean, I think that's like the streamer's rite of passage to have someone come in there who definitely should not have clicked that this is okay for them to be there and do it anyways.
There's a lot of young people on Mixer. I mean, I don't know if that's a Mixer problem because I've never streamed anywhere else, but there's a lot of young people on Mixer. A lot of people have gotten into my community that I suspect are young. And this is, we were talking about being in parties and stuff earlier. This is one of the reasons why I had to stop parties, because I couldn't control the age of people that were ending up at the party. So we had to like totally stop that to keep out the 12-year-olds, basically. But it's a problem when I'm on Xbox now. If I'm in a party that's not closed, like I once had like a cascade of children enter the party. This was off stream. They all just swooped in.
I've gotten that as well.
Like, Oh gosh, it's because of it being exclusive to Xbox.
Right,
Yeah.
which
So,
Metro and Apache, fantastic timing, might I say. The whole tell them the 1v1 and then can I
Sam!
play? Hey, what's up, Blood? How you doing? But I think
Blood high.
I think that, you know, no matter what, every individual, every streamer, every content creator has to go through something at one point in their life that they've got to deal with the parade, the charade of a younger audience base, we'll say, that decides that they just want to roll right through and make it fun. So how do you take measures to prevent any issues with, let's say, like racial bias or discrimination or anything that's against TOS?
Well, if it's very rude, I mean, there's scales of rude, isn't there? If it's completely inappropriate, it'll get taken out by a catbot anyway, and then we'll just ban the account. But normally, I will let people. Sometimes with the younger audience, they don't know what like they say stuff and they don't mean it, but it's like it's so inappropriate and it's just so not okay to say.
Absolutely.
Like, and so we have to just kind of. I've gotten stricter and stricter as I've gone along because I used to let people get away with whatever, but as we've sort of grown, it's been necessary for the whole group to control these people that are just being extremely rude. So yeah, we have a strike system. But normally we can do sort of really long timeouts, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I normally give them a warning myself rather than the mods giving them a warning because I think it's there's something to be said for not giving them attention, but I think it works better if I give them a warning versus a mod giving them a warning because they can actually see what I'm saying.
Right.
That I'm not impressed. And so sometimes we will let someone get away with it once and say, if you say anything like that again, you're being removed and you won't be allowed back in the stream.
Right.
I'm not afraid to ban people. Like, I'm not really too concerned about what my follow number is. So if you're being extremely rude, you can leave.
No, I mean, I would agree. I mean, you have to take a stand. You have to to take a bit of a way to put your foot down, stand up for what you believe in is right. But I would say that
is one thing that I can't tolerate. I see that far too. Like I see that far too much. Like people using the word "gay" as a derogatory term. You don't understand how often I have to tell people off about that. So
right.
if one of my gay friends comes in here, like how horrible! Like that's just inappropriate and immature, basically.
There is a little bit blood, and I think it's just because of quality of connection. I think that there's a bit of a.
Or is it?
I don't know if it's the mic, but I'm definitely hearing it. But if I had to guess, it's probably just Discord being compressed and the amount of traffic that we have on the internet. It's just a little bit of a problem. But no, I apologize for that, blood. But yeah, there definitely is a little bit. But no, but regardless, I think that stupid Discord. No, I think that we have to. We have to take the opportunity, or we have to put it upon ourselves to make it a moral obligation to try and grow. So how do you feel like streaming or being a content creator sets you up for the future of influencing the growth of an individual and how we affect the audience base of the world?
You mean the growth of the individual is in like the relationships that we make and that we build?
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
I've got relationships that I've had since I started, and that to me is impressive that I've still got those. Because I often used to worry that they wouldn't last. But it's just a case of investing in people. Like, and I made a video about this on YouTube because when I say investing in people, there's this like thing about support for support, and I used to kill myself for supporting other people. Like, kill myself. Like, I would be like awake for like until like 3 a.m, and I'd be at work at 9, supporting channels, and that's just not even the best way to build relationships. It's not even the best way. But yeah, I'm proud to say that I've got a lot of relationships that have lasted the test of time. Not all of them, but a lot of them have. And I have a lot of streamers saying that I do influence them, which I find crazy. Imposter syndrome. I do find it crazy. But a lot of people saying I influence them to do better at streaming, and that's because if something works for me, I am going to tell you that it works. I'm not going to sit here and hoard that because I'm scared that you're going to get bigger than me or overtake me or any of that crap. Like, I want you to succeed. Like, how well you do it is nothing, you know what I mean? It's no reflection on me. And I think that a lot of the problem people have with building relationships in streaming is salt. Like they almost like don't want to invest information in other people because they are scared of them getting bigger than them and overtaking. And that's a mindset to get rid of.
Well, and so then it's you know, that's kind of where I was headed with the whole cultural imperative is like, you know, we have the potential to shift the world towards the I would say idea or direction of a growth mindset that we have, you know, individuals, as you said, who would make you know, derogatory statements against sexual ideals or cultural ideals or racist or, you know, whatever it is. But we have the opportunity to sit a person down and say, you know what, this isn't correct. Here's why. And this is what could happen in your future if you don't choose to change that now. And so I think as a content creator, as someone who could effectively end up reaching the vast stretches of the world, you know, it's rather a choice of your opportunity to do something about it or sit idly by. And so I think
once you get to a certain size, you can't just sit by. Because honestly, like, I mean, when I first started, I let people get away with more than they should because I was scared that they'd leave. And you need to kind of get out of that mindset. Because if that guy or girl or whatever is being incredibly hateful, it's affecting the whole chat because the priority is everyone, not just like one person.
Right.
Like one person's, you know, I've had to, you know, get rid of people that have just been consistently inappropriate. And these are people that, you know, my friends and that kind of thing, but I've had to remove them because they just couldn't keep their mouths shut. Basically, they couldn't stop. But it's about the whole group. Basically, it's about the whole group. It's not about one guy. It's about everyone.
Well, and so to your point, Apache, bad behavior doesn't deserve attention, but bad behavior needs attention. And I mean that not necessarily in the way of this stream. No, yeah. I mean like it needs addressed is what I'm getting at. That like someone again has to say something, do something. Mr. Eastside, thank you. Greatly appreciate that. Has to do something because it's our opportunity to help someone learn. And if we're here as an entertainer that's focused off of an individual relationship, then we have the capacity, we have the capability and the opportunity to do something. So how do you approach a situation then where you have an opportunity? Let's say like someone comes into the stream and says, you know, hey, I think that for lack of a better phrase, by no means do I condone it, but I think that this is gay, right? Like this is dumb and you suck and whatever. Like how, without doing anything like shot off the hip.
Okay, right. I'd say that's not an appropriate term in my channel. Don't use gay as a derogatory term, and then I delete it. And then I say, if you do it again, you're out. Basically. If it was just like that, then I'd probably just do a 4-hour timeout on them and then give them a third chance. But if it was really bad, then I'd just immediately get rid of them. If it's really bad, I don't even acknowledge it. I just get rid of them. They're just out.
Fair enough.
So
I'm always eager to hear everyone's kind of view on how they address I would say problematic behavior, because
it depends. It depends on who it is. If it's someone that I know, they're going to get a lecture. Because they will literally get a lecture because it's like, because I know them and I'm not going to just chuck them away.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a difference between someone that I know that I've seen a few times and then, you know, who's just a little bit stupid and saying something that they don't even realise is, you know, hurtful or whatever to people, and then someone that just comes in to be hateful. There's two groups, you know. Some people, you know, are just going to come in and, oh God, women, we get called fat and ugly and, you know, all sorts of sexual comments and all that kind of crap. You know, that's what we get. I understand that guys get different insults. But yeah, and things do come across differently in text. That's true. That's one reason why I like to give chances. Unless someone said something just that can't be interpreted any other way. It's just definitely not good. Because you are going to get people that come in and yell the M word. And I didn't believe people when they told me that. But
Oh
it
God,
happens.
dude, I get that in chat, and that's like, I went off on a dude the other day. I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and some guy dropped that, and I was like, dude, you can't say that. You just can't say that. And he's like, yeah, but it's not like I dropped the hard R. It's still like, I'm like, no. That's the same thing, because your intention is to say the word. Now you're just changing it slightly because it's acceptable. I'm like, no, that's a horrible attitude.
I literally wouldn't acknowledge it. I would literally just ban. They would just be banned. That would be it. Because that kind of person is coming in to cause trouble. Like,
right.
That's what they're doing. Like, that's what they're doing. So...
I don't know. I feel like one of the reasons I got started in streaming, because I saw the opportunity to you had influencers, content creators who were creating toxic environments and influencing the world essentially of the upbringing of children to say that this is rather acceptable, or they're looking at them idolizing their behavior to say that this is what I want to be. I want to be famous for playing video games because I'm already good at Fortnite or whatever. And how do I repeat this process? And so I thought it was necessary for me to get involved. I felt that it was necessary for me to try and help people know that there's a place, there is a way to do something correctly, and there's a way to do something incorrectly. And it might take longer. At least I feel like, especially in the streaming world, it definitely takes longer for you to be positive than to be toxic. It's easier to be toxic.
The thing about being toxic is it gets you a lot of attention. Like, I've seen it happen with like a fair amount of people.
Yeah.
I mean, it does, but then it inevitably ends up with people distrusting you, and those early relationships that you had are going to break down if you are behaving like that consistently.
Absolutely.
That I've observed that before in people. Like, they've basically demolished their whole community.
Oh, absolutely.
It's horrible, but... So yeah.
No, I would agree. I think that there's a lot that ends up collapsing, but so at what point does a person, or do you feel like a person rationalizes the idea of having more of a growth mindset and staying in the correct lane, quote unquote, versus looking at the opportunity for success, even if it's not the correct success? How do you feel like a person handles that interaction?
What do you mean? Do you mean success versus success organically and positively?
Pretty much, yeah. So like a person comes to that point in the road. What do you feel like goes through an individual? What do you feel like goes through someone's mind, as a content creator?
See, I never really had that because I knew that I didn't want to grow. I never hit
Thank you for the hosts, by the way.
But adult humor and I'm all in. I never hit that crossroad because I feel like it's selling out. Like, if you go down that road of there's certain things that, my opinion isn't necessarily the opinion of everyone on this, but there's certain things that I feel are selling out. And I'm not someone that's going to sell out for a little bit faster growth, you know what I mean? I play the games that I play because I like them, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because I've not actually personally experienced it myself. But I'd rather have slower organic growth.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's healthier because you have, as you stated, you have the loyalty behind your fan base, your audience base, behind the people that want to support you, that no matter what, when you walk through those doors, they can say, no, you know what? I'm willing to stand up for that because I know that they're doing it the right way. It might be slower. It might be faster. Who knows? Anything could happen because, it's an extremely volatile market. It's all randomized. You can get discovered and blow up, as you've stated, and you might not. Who knows? Anything could occur. But you're doing it the right way.
MBM, do you mean in business? Because I did recently have an offer made to me to be paid to play a game, basically. And I know a lot of people jumped on it, but I knew that game wasn't right for the people that watch me stream. So I was I could have been paid to play it, but my community wouldn't have liked it. and it would have taken my time away from like.
I know, right? I was sitting there thinking the exact same thing, Metro. I'm like, oh my God. So
Every bloody person got that offer, did they not?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, I got it.
Like mail it out, like to everybody.
Yeah.
You have to have an average of like 1 follower or something crazy. I was like, yeah, okay, all right then.
Well, so like, you know, I don't think it's me personally, and not just Bless Unleashed, but I play variety games. You know, like I'm like Metro to a degree. I'll play anything, literally anything. But most of the people are there because I'll rather make fun of the game. I'll, you know, interact with my chat. Like, that's my focus. I'll sit there and I won't even play it for 30 minutes straight while I'm sitting there talking with everyone else that's in chat right now. Like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. But do you feel like it's still a sellout then to play and be offered a sponsored spot if it's for a game that doesn't fit to the community? Or do you feel like it's... Go ahead.
If it's a game that doesn't fit to you and the community, like if there might be a game that I would love that my community wouldn't love, and I would give that a go. Like I might give that a go. But if it's a game that like I don't like, my community doesn't like it, and I'm literally just paying it for money, then it's like, well, I might as well go and do my day job for a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I might as well just go and do my day job for a day, like, and just get paid more for that.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, I'm a little bit funny with sponsorships and things as well, like, and partnerships with people.
Right.
Like, the only partnership that I have is with Streamers, and that's because they're a really good company. Like, there's a lot of dodgy, like, sponsorships and stuff out there, and you know, I take my time on it because I don't want to just partner up with any old person. Because a lot of people want you to do things like put big adverts on your stream or have like dodgy panels in your bio, and it's like, well, now I've just like basically cheapened my entire brand because I've, you know, to get like, you know, a penny every time someone spends a tenner on fatal grips.
Right.
It's just like, yeah. If it isn't a game for you, cut yourself from your community through a bad stream playing the game that you aren't enjoying. The camera and the mic will pick up that you aren't having an enjoyable time. That is true.
Well, and so I would agree with that. I know for me, as stated, I've always run into the circumstance that people are there for me. People are there for the way that I interact. So I'm going to be myself the same way that I am in any game. I don't care what it is. I'm going to play it the exact same way that I always play every single game. And there are some games that I get a little bit more sweat with, like Apex or Call of Duty or, you know, whatever, because that's who I am. Like, I go hard in those titles. But, I mean, even Paladins.
Your mood changes depending on what games you're in, for sure.
I mean, I would definitely say that I'm probably a little bit more casual with something like an RPG. I'm probably just as talkative, but I'm not like, oh my god, let's go.
Yeah, it's like me, Animal Crossing versus GTA. In GTA, I'm like screaming all the time, whereas in Animal Crossing, it's more like chill chatting. You know what I mean? It's two different vibes.
But people still know that you're having a good time, right?
Yeah, it's just different. And I myself, you know, we were talking about consistency earlier. I have like inconsistency in my energy, which is why I try and keep a lot of other things consistent. Because I have bipolar disorder, so sometimes like woo, and sometimes I'm like ooh. So yeah, that's why I try and be aware of other things that can be consistent,
right?
And stick with that rather than, because consistent energy is hard. And I think that a big thing when you're coming up with a streaming schedule is trying to find a time where you have naturally high energy. And I used to stream in the evenings, and my evening streams were never as good, and it's because I had no energy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
yeah, exactly. That's Metro. That's what I do. Like, I just hit the button and just shout at everyone. Come on.
I need to get one of them voice filters that distorts your mic.
Oh, well, you could do that through Streamlabs.
I can do that on my XLR, but I just haven't looked at that whole side of the XLR.
Oh, okay.
I use it for like I literally only use it for like the channels. I have like 7 profiles for the channels, but I never use the voice changer.
What? Metro did a voice changer. Pink does voice. Well, yeah. Pink does a voice changer. Well, doesn't Metro has one too where he goes real high? I thought.
Oh, have you got a high pitch one?
I thought he had one where it goes higher. Yeah, Chipmunk. Yeah, they love it.
The deep one. I want to try a deep one and see what it sounds like on my voice.
That would be great. Just remove the video. Oh yeah, Reanimate does do hers as well. But yeah, remove the video for it. Just don't run the webcam and see if anyone catches on. Be like, wait a minute. This is not the stream I signed up for. What's happening here?
Oh my.
But no, yeah.
Full stream as a guy, I could put a male voice changer on and put my my Kyle outfit on with the cap and the...
Oh, okay. So here's something then. So you have different personalities. Is that what you're alluding to?
No, it's just something that I've done for videos before as a bit of a skit joke thing.
Okay.
It's just like when I do these like skit videos, which I haven't done for a while, to be fair, but they are really fun. Them. I normally they're triggered by something that happens like in the streaming community, like I did one about people's mic audio being just ridiculously peaky. That's a trigger for me. Because my mic used to be like this for about a year. My mic used to be just peaking because I scream a lot, like
right.
And my voice goes up and down. Before I got the mic set up properly, it was just peaking all the time. And so I made like a skit about it, and then I did one about like people, like names that are difficult to read, and just like I think that skits are a good way to convey information without coming across like an asshole. That's basically why I like them.
Well, it's the comedic twist, right? Like it's sometimes that comedy piece ends up softening the blow of being in a way, a little rude, a little mean, whatever. But it's the delivery. You've changed the voice of the delivery to make it, as you said, constructive.
I mean, I value the feedback that I've received that's negative a lot more in a way than the feedback that I've received that's positive, because it's made the biggest difference to improving my content. So I once had someone say that my audio was terrible, that I was peaking like a bitch, and I fixed it, and now it's not like that anymore. And then I once had someone come in and say that my alerts were horrendously loud and they couldn't come to my stream because my alerts were so invasive. We fixed it. More people are coming in now.
Well, so that's it kind of leads to one of my other questions. How do you feel like you can work or foster the freedom for an individual to feel like they can approach you about a situation in kind? So like, a lot of times as a streamer, everyone's like, oh my God, you're fantastic. I love you no matter what you do. And you're great and everything's flawless and perfect. And it's not that they're yes men. It's just that they enjoy you. And so how do you feel and how do you find ways to create an acceptable platform for someone to approach you about like, hey, this actually sucks and you need to fix it?
Normally these things, it's good feedback, but it's bad feedback. This feedback normally comes in through like direct messages. That's normally how it comes in. Normally it comes in from I mean, I've reviewed other people's streams for them, and then they've sort of looked at mine, and it's I mean, I think one of the things that I probably should do is ask for more feedback. I asked for a lot of audio feedback, and my other half, he helps me at the beginning of the stream to make sure that all the audio is right, because obviously I've got slightly different volumes in my ears and stuff like that than what they're seeing and hearing. But I ask for it. I ask for it more often than not. I ask for people to. I mean, MBM reviewed my stream before I rebranded. But yeah,
MBM is a good person to ask.
Yeah, he was doing a thing on it was a while ago. He was doing a stream where he was reviewing people's, and you had to, like, if you were a sub and if you won it on the thingy thing. And then everyone's gonna ask you now. Everyone's gonna ask you to review that stream.
Yep, I'm going to. I'm gonna be like, well, I'm gonna sub over to MBM. Could you do sub giveaways today for streamer reviews? Just asking for a friend.
You can't if you.
Solsey sent me. Just saying.
You might do it again. You never know. I was just lucky I was there at the right time, but it was before I rebranded. So I was kind of curious to see what he would think after.
So,
because before the rebrand, everything was a little bit messy. Like, he said a lot of things that I knew, and I was like working to fix.
So I know
So,
I know a lot of people have undergone a visual rebranding, a name
yeah.
rebranding, whatever format you want to take it. So when did you know, and what was the insight to lead you to make that decision? What did that transition look like?
There was some rift on Twitter about the stream reviews. Well, basically, with my brand, my original name was horrendous. It was meant to be Soul Survivor. That was the name that I wanted because I was really into Fallout 4 at the time, and I couldn't get it. So it all came from Xbox. On Xbox, it had like a little numbers in it. It was like TH3S0LESUR.
Yeah.
So hard to read, right? And I couldn't type it. No one could type it. And I realised when I went to EGX and people were trying to follow me on their phones because they were all typing each other's like channel names in to follow each other, and they couldn't find it. They kept handing me their phones and saying type it in because I can't find you. I realised then that it was stupid, and then I changed it to Soul Survivor because I didn't want people to not know who I was. And then it just became abundantly clear that we just didn't do anything linked to Fallout at all. So
Right.
it just made no sense to have a channel around that. Like, don't brand around a game. Just don't brand around a game. It's a bad idea. Like, I mean, I had things in my channel that are linked to GTA, and but things like that can be changed. Like, as long as your name and your community name isn't branded around a game, you should be fine.
Gotcha.
You never know if a game's gonna flop.
Right.
You never know if a game's gonna flop.
Right. So then, if you're not, just as a, transparency, like we call our community the Vault, right? So like and it's a joint prospect. One where the idea is like no matter what you're safe, no matter what you're protected. Like you can go into an environment and feel at home. That the outside world won't screw you up. And so like I've got some other things on the back end that relate to it that have that theme to it, but we're all dwellers here. We're all looking out for each other. But I continue to play things like Fallout, but it's more about, I would say a franchise than it is necessarily about a game. So how do you feel like if you were to give that advice to someone, and even me, how do you feel like that would affect it in comparison to just focusing on one game? So like if I rebranded around Fallout 76 and Fallout 76 was garbage, that would be a bad thing.
That's what I did. That's basically what I did though. Because
Gotcha.
at the time 76 wasn't out, and
Right.
so I was like, oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna get it wasn't a golden game for a bit. Like me and my friends sat at the top of that category for a while. It was a little bit golden for a while because basically no one wanted to stream it, but there was still a pool of people that wanted to watch it.
Right.
So there was a group of like 5 or 6 of us. Whenever we streamed it, we'd just be top.
Right.
Like every time. Like and the category had like 300 or so people in it, so top wasn't too bad.
Right.
But yeah, the thing is, branding around someone else's brands, you don't know where they're going to take that brand.
Absolutely.
And another game is a brand. And so it's very much out of your control. And while you can have an interest in Fallout stuff, like I've got Fallout stuff behind me, and then something like naming your community the Vault isn't branding around a game. That's just I wouldn't class that as branding around a game. Your name's not Soul Survivor, you know what I mean? You've not got like a load of Fallout alerts and stuff like that. That's just like one thing. The Vault's, and obviously you said it's got multiple meanings and stuff as well. But it's just, it needs to be a brand that's yours and not a brand that's someone else's.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you're not, I wasn't affiliated with Fallout or anything like that. So I was kind of ripping off their brand in a way, by having that name. It wasn't unique. That's the thing. That's the thing about all these names that are based around games. They're not unique, and a lot of people do change them. I've seen a lot of people that have branded around games and changed their names because they want something that's them. Once they get to a certain size, change his name to Soul Survivor, don't you dare.
So
it might be available.
This leads me. This leads me actually into one of my other questions is, a lot of people say that when a person first starts streaming, a lot of the partners say like, find something that makes you, find something that makes you unique in order to, really set yourself apart.
Impossible advice.
But
people give me that advice so much, it's ridiculous.
Okay. So it's the cliche thing, but do you feel like that's still technically accurate? Because in a way, you just told me to do the exact same thing with the name. With anyone looking to create a brand around themselves, it has to be unique. So how does one?
Your brand has to be unique, but like the
That
problem
still
is
makes
like
you unique, though, right?
the problem is right when you first start streaming, you shouldn't even think about brand. A brand shouldn't even be in your head. Like when you first start streaming, you should just be kind of because if you start trying to create a brand at step one, you end up with TH3S0LESURVIV0R on a load of banners that you've paid for. Like, don't start your brand at step one. First of all, decide if you like streaming, right? Don't start a brand. It's not a company yet. You're just trying it out. Just get any old name, maybe even your name, maybe even your actual name, because that's actually very successful. I've seen a lot of people use their actual name. And just stream, and then the brand will come. It comes on its own. Don't try and force it. It just happens.
Right.
It's normally like my community chose their name. I'd strongly recommend that you let your community choose their Discord name if you think about changing it. My community chose it. They chose like 3 things, then we voted on it. So we went for like the Eggplant Kingdom, and then we built it all around there. I mean, picking your name is personal to you, but your community and what you stand for, that just needs to organically, slowly grow up. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's not a case of you trying to force it immediately.
Right,
which
right.
is what I did, and that was a mistake that I made. You know, so.
Well, it's interesting advice to say the least. I mean, obviously, I think everyone's kind of experienced streaming or the growth of streaming, the growth of their own community, the growth of what they've seen in success in a different fashion. But that's always been the most static piece that I've seen. That no matter what I hear from a partner, from a content creator on top tier, is what's you? What is you? And I think it's always interesting to see how Foundation starts.
That what you just said there, what is you? That's kind of different because what you originally said was you've got to try and find like something unique, and then you said you've got to be you, and be you is definitely good advice. Like get the hell out of your shell. Like I didn't like that's the main thing. Like it is dealing with the anxiety and dealing with whatever it is that's stopping you from showing like your full self. Go full force into a stream, into the content that you create. That is excellent advice. But this wishy-washy advice of just trying to be different is wishy-washy, and it's just recycled and regurgitated.
Right.
It's the same as like the advice of like create a schedule. Like it's just the same. Or don't do follow for follow.
Right.
Like, those 2 pieces of advice are like to me. I'm just like on a fire right now because it's just like I've heard them so much. I've heard them so much. Like there's way more to it than just that.
Well, and I
It's
think
just
they're
sexy.
the baseline. They're the obvious. But some people need the obvious pieces. So I think
Yeah.
that you have to be willing to. If you're trying to offer advice, I feel like you have to be willing to go over the bare bones, the foundationals, the necessities, and at least
Yeah.
brush over it and say like, look, here
My-
are the obvious things, and then let's get into the things that might be more beneficial to you.
The main thing is, and the main thing that made me grow was, and this is why I say to everyone that asks me for help, is social media.
Right.
Like just immediately put a lot of work into that. Like just do that. That's the main thing because that pulls people in.
Right.
Like I can't remember the exact percentages of a lot of mixer traffic comes from Twitter. Basically, a lot of it comes from Twitter. Above all the social media, Twitter and YouTube as well. I've had people stream get recommended videos even though they don't follow me. But I would say the main thing is other platforms. And then if you create videos, and this is important, like if you create videos, you are immediately so much more confident on camera. Like I streamed for a year and my camera confidence was nothing. And I've been like doing videos for like the last couple of months and my camera confidence is just like, wow, like compared to what it was, because I know now that I can sit and I can talk to a camera and I don't need any input from anyone. I can just do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care if the chat's dead. It's fine. I can do it.
Right. Well,
So,
and I think it's nice. Like I'd said before, it's that adaptation piece of understanding that that's the premise, that's your form of engagement, and to be, as you said, entertaining, but also set yourself up for excellence. Like you've already stated that if you were to walk into a stream and find someone talking to themselves and chat was literally dead, you scroll up and 30 minutes back is the last time someone said anything, you're already impressed. So like, you're creating or nurturing that environment that no matter what, I'm still going to talk. I'm still going to find a way to be entertaining. What's up, Blood Devil? Hello. Oh, Blood Evil? Is it, wait, is it compressed or is it?
Do you talk to yourself off stream, MBM? Do you do that? Because I do that now.
Dude, who doesn't? Really?
When I'm gaming, Sam's just sick of listening to me at this point. He's playing like GTA. I'm playing Animal Crossing. I'm like, oh, I just got this. So, I've just chopped down these trees. I've got like 5 more wood to get. It's like, what are you on about, bro? What are you talking about? I don't care.
I find myself doing the same thing, just commenting on, like, I'm sitting there playing Apex or something. I'm like, oh my God, look at this guy. Look at this guy doing this and doing that. And what does that play even equate out to? What now?
Like, sometimes I just randomly scream at
games. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really bad. Like, it's all right on the stream, but if it's not on stream, it just comes across really weird.
No, yeah, it's perfect, because I feel like we end up mirroring what we're doing in front of people because we just always think that someone's watching, and it's interesting how it changes the rest of our livelihood, our aspects of how we interact with people around us. Because I feel that it's like that constant thing in the back of the head, like, you know what, maybe someone's recording this. Should I be doing something? I should be doing something, right?
Yeah. It's interesting because I've been doing some sort of vlogging and stuff lately, and that's like totally different kind of content. But people have been saying that they really like that kind of stuff. So for me at the moment, like the main sort of focus is trying to show not just this entertainment personality, but like more of myself. Like that's what I want to sort of do. I want to show more. Like talk to yourself in the third person.
Well, and
Blood's someone that I met when he had no viewers and he was talking and he impressed me so much. He impressed me so much that I shouted him out in my Discord and I've made other people come in the channel so that he had more viewers. Because like it's rare. There's so many people that just sat there like this.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. I like to go in and time it. That's one of the things. And actually, I learned it. No, I learned it from a community / like a almost like a school. The Crusade group. Metro was also part of it. But basically, they taught me time it. Like time the amount of gap there is between when a person's saying something and when they're saying something next, and count it. Like literally count how long it takes for them to interact or say something else, even if it's worthless, even if it's oh man, I love my mouse because my mouse is garbage, and
just right, just say anything. It doesn't matter as long as it's not offensive. Like, just put that out there. As long as it's not like about like white supremacy or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, wait.
like stuff about that. Like, just say anything. I talk about all sorts of stuff. I've been struggling a bit recently because everything that's in my brain is like coronavirus. You know what I mean? So it's like my streams have been a little bit quieter. But normally I just talk about the content that I'm creating. I talk about streaming. I have big rants about streaming all the time.
Hey,
yeah, just talk about anything.
It's something, and it's something to feel. It's something to feel engaged, which I have to ask then, which is probably one of my my last questions before we swap to, you know, if anyone in the audience has any questions for Solsey, for myself, or you have any for me, is how do you feel in pushing the boundaries or the limitations of what's normally not considered socially acceptable, which then becomes socially acceptable because it's the topic of conversation on the internet? You know, like from politics to religion to anything. Have you ever challenged the cultural paradigm of what's possible, and how do you do that?
What give me an example of something that you mean, just so that I fully
So,
understand
like,
what you mean.
so let's just say politics. I mean, obviously we're in the state of no pun intended. We're in the state of having of an election coming up, and you've got a situation where you're like, hey, this person's a candidate, this person's a candidate, and someone says something in chat that could spawn a conversation, that could start or spur a whole string. It's an opportunity for you as a content creator to take that into a world, or to shut it down and say, you know what, this could lead to animosity, this could lead to hate, and this is where I have to say no, this is where I have to say yes.
The thing is about politics, and this is really not a problem, but this is really evident in this. We've recently, well, I say recently, it was like 2 years ago, I had the vote on Brexit, and there was 50% of the country that wanted it, basically, and 50% of the country that didn't. Basically that kind of split. The thing is about political discussions is you're going to piss someone off. Like, if you let, I mean, we do sometimes let conversations like that happen in Discord where it's like a close-knit community, and I trust everyone not to offend each other. But the problem is with politics, people tend to have very strong opinions.
Yeah.
And I don't want to create friction and cracks between people, because you can, politics isn't, I mean, for a start, most of us aren't even in the same country. So who you support in America really doesn't have any bearing on who I support over here. You know what I mean? I just think that it causes cracks and frictions, politics specifically. We can talk about religion again, like religion's not one of those that's come up as much, but politics has come up, and it's been this is a learning curve for me, because I let comments go in Discord, and then I've had people come back and be offended by it, and it's just a case of it's not the place for a political discussion in my. I think it creates friction. Most people don't know how to debate properly. A lot of people turn a debate into an argument.
Right.
That's the thing. If I feel that I'm in a group of people that can have an intellectual debate without making it emotional, then we can talk about it. But if it's just a group of people who are maybe younger, maybe get upset by it, or maybe who could say things that are upsetting about it, it's not. I don't think it's the place.
Well, and
that's my opinion.
I would agree. I think that there's, to a point, an ignorance around, what is a debate, what is an argument, and how do we, how do we, delineate between those two? Because a lot of people have blurred lines around those two.
See, I don't, because I come from a legal background.
Right.
So,
and I'm good there. I used to be on the debate team. I'm square. But
I was in a debate society as well.
Right.
But debating can be great, but you just have to not get emotionally connected, and it's difficult because, like, politics especially, like, people tend to emotionally connect with it because it affects them and their lives. If it's their politician, he loves to debate, that means he can argue. But then the thing is, you've got to be careful.
Send me 2 hats, thank you.
To me, is that my other half? Yeah, he just followed you. That's my other half. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just not everyone can debate. They can't all do it, and this is the thing. This is the reason why I breeze through Twitter. I realise, and everyone gets stressed by streaming Twitter because if I see an opinion that's not the same as mine, I don't take that as a personal attack on me. And that's the thing about debating. It's not a personal attack on you. It's just someone else's opinion. It doesn't really matter what their opinion is, as long as it's not, that everyone should go and kill each other or something.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. Most of the time, especially when it comes to politics, it really doesn't matter. And it's better not to create a fire.
Right.
I think.
Right. Well, and I think that's part of creating a community, a place where people can feel safe, accepted, is that, you have to go out of your way to, be willing to shut some things down when you know that there's nothing conducive that's going to come from it. So, you've got let's say 2 people that that you can have a conversation with, that that they can debate something without it getting heated, without changing their opinion, without whatever. and know that it's safe.
Yeah.
But a lot of times on stream, that's just not really possible because there are a lot of people that, you know, you haven't built up that relationship with them to the point where you know that you can trust it to stay exactly where it is, exactly as it is.
Yeah, it's just a case of doing what's best for the group, and what's best for the group isn't splitting it. It just always for me goes back to what's best for the group. Like that's the main thing. Like, you know, splitting it up like that isn't what's best. I mean, we can have serious discussions. We've had serious discussions, but politics is a bit of a red light.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always hard. I know, you know, like I've been around discussions where I try and avoid it. I feel like you can talk about it or have a conversation around when it's more around the, I would say historical or intellectual, just the background position. Like, this is what X is and this is what Y is, and that's just the facts. Like, that's what a Republican is, or that's what a Democrat is, or that's what this idealism is. But you know, you can't take a view
about it as a subject.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like it's there.
It's one of those, like, they say that don't talk about politics and religion at the dinner table. It's the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just going to cause friction.
Well, and
I don't really have the religious issue, though. People don't really want to talk to me about religion. It's mostly just politics.
Well, and I don't find too much on the platform. I definitely think politics has a more, I would say, deciding factor, especially with, you know, oh, did you see this on the internet? I'm already on the internet. That's why I'm watching you. And they just bring it right to the conversation. And so, like, you know, you've got to be willing to put your foot down, but you also have to be willing, in my opinion, to at least entertain the concept of this is why we can't talk about it. Or this is the challenge piece to that. Like, we can have a discussion, but it's probably going to end poorly. And we don't want any community member to, one, feel left out because they just don't know enough, or two, feel like they're different, or three, you know, like, it just, the list goes on. It's a can of worms.
It's just this feeling of, like, being personally attacked that I don't want to create for anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I don't want to create that for anyone. So your streams just automatically reduce the 480 quality for me. Let me just fix that.
Wait, what now?
I'm watching the stream, right, and it reduced it to 480 for some reason. Just refreshed and I reduced it down. I'm like, why?
Well, yeah, it's probably my. No, my internet's going okay right now. I don't have a whole lot of packet drops.
It's my internet.
No, yeah, I would agree. I think that, you know, like, it's our obligation, it's our responsibility to try and take care of the community, to try and take care of, you know, making sure that everyone feels like they have a place at home. And I think that that's kind of the future of streaming, that, you know, we see more of these, as it were, like, you look at Twitch and just chatting or IRL streams are blowing up. Yeah. And I think people are starting to realize that it's not just a gaming platform, that it's an interaction and it's a relationship with an individual.
My IRL streams, I normally do them on a Sunday. I didn't the last couple of weeks because of all the stuff that's been going on, but Oh, that was so weird. I saw you talking on the screen and it's like 5 minutes behind now. That's so weird. I was like, is the audio not coming through? That was so weird. Oh my gosh, I've totally lost my train of thought now.
So
that's throwing me right off.
No, we were talking about the growth of IRL streams and how basically. Yes. Yep. Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
I was so scared that IRL streams were going to be crap for me, and it turns out they're so good.
Right.
Like, I might start doing every stream starting off in IRL.
Yeah.
Because people like to have a chat. Like, people just like to come and have a chat without, like, because sometimes people won't come because they don't like the game that you play. Sometimes they don't. Whereas an IRL stream, it's not anything to do with the game. It's about you and what you're doing. And I do try and encourage people to do web shows in IRL because I think grow it as a category on Mixer. IRL's getting better. It is getting better.
Right.
But there's not enough people in there. Like, you compare it to Twitch and just chatting, it's massive. That category's huge. Whereas on Mixer, it's just not as big. And I want to see more people in that category. You know what I mean? And not just IRL, but, you know, web shows and all sorts of stuff. You know, it's something that I definitely want to branch out into. You know, I don't want to just play games all the time. It's nice to do other things.
Well, and so I
think
your
community likes it.
I think that, when you're talking about when a person shows up to a community, they feel involved with the community, they've been around it, like you obviously have the stand behind, the support from the people that have essentially created that environment. But I think the major challenge in trying to grow the category in IRL as a whole is that a person's turning on an Xbox to enjoy a game that they're rather watching, they're playing, they're doing whatever. And so when the platform as a whole is so heavily influenced by any one gaming console, specifically the Xbox, that's the psychological mindset that an individual is in when they're going to use that media device.
That's how it starts, but that's not necessarily where you end up.
Absolutely.
Because I've met a lot of people that obviously found me GTA category, and that prefer to then always play GTA with me whenever we play GTA. But like those people have become. I mean, I know this isn't the case for every game. I know that sometimes there are viewers that, with certain games especially, that will just go away if you don't play that game. But a lot of them have made their way into all of my streams, regardless of what I'm streaming, and they'll come for the IRL stuff. And it's because they're invested in me. It's not about what game category I'm in and what they're watching from and that kind of stuff.
Well,
a lot of the time they'll come and watch whatever. Really.
Well, and I think so I would totally agree. I mean, I know that a lot of people, I've always told my, I would say my moderators, my, supporters, my subscribers, the people who are, behind the scenes doing a lot of the work. If I can get them in the door, I can usually keep them. My problem is sometimes just getting them in the door. Like after I've started telling them basically who I am and what I do, that's the easy part. But what I was referring to around IRL and why IRL is so challenging is that people are right. So the audience is there for Xbox. They're there for gameplay. They're there for that as a broad category. And so, yeah, you're pulling in. No, but
I do pretty all right in IRL.
No, absolutely.
I do. Sometimes better than in certain game categories. Definitely. There is an audience there. It's
absolutely.
just about providing the content. I really feel that that's the case with the IRL category. I feel that there isn't enough content in there, and that's why there isn't enough audience in there. Because a lot of the IRL stuff is just from people's phones and stuff like that. And while that does work, if you're out and about, that kind of stuff, they on Twitch they have more, and not. I'm generalizing here because there are some people that put on great web shows and great IRL shows, and there are some really great streamers that do that on Mixer. But on Twitch, it's whatever time of day you want to come and browse, just chatting, there's someone always on doing a good show.
Right.
And I do think that there's more of an audience there than people think there is.
Oh no, I think it's fantastic. I think that we have a lot of opportunity, and I think that Mixer is going to end up doing the exact same thing. Yeah, if I do that, I'm baking. I'm going to tell you that right now. Maybe I'll do that for our Extra Life charity stream. But baking, I still want to touch on the cake. That's my personal question. But I think that IRL is definitely a growth point of the future. That Mixer, if they invest the time, the resources into making it explode, it definitely will. And I love IRL or more web show community-driven events because I feel like that's where we build these relationships, and that's where we can interact more as human to human, as person to person, and really get a sense of that back and forth.
When the game is there, it's like an extra thing that's disconnecting you. Like with parties, for me, it's like an extra thing that's disconnecting you from the chat. Do you know what I mean? Equally, it's good to have the game there because people can play together and that kind of stuff. But the conversation is better. It's not better, but the conversation can be a little bit more one-on-one. Focus is the word. It can be a little bit more focused if that's all you're doing. You know what I mean? It can be so scary when you first do an IRL because my thing was that no one would show up and that I'd be talking to myself. And it wasn't until I kind of got over the fear that I might end up talking to myself that I actually started doing things. Because just talking to yourself is really not that bad. Don't be put off by that. It's not that hard. It's really not.
Right. Hello, Varmland.
Casserole tin.
Welcome.
Varmland, hi.
But no,
I know
yeah,
you from my streams.
I would definitely agree. I think that at the end of the day, like we stand to gain most in that category, and I think it's just going to be Microsoft working to try and make that a little bit more front and center. And I think that's also going to come from Twitch's side of the world, that when people start recognizing that just chatting is almost doing as well and sometimes better than gameplay, that's where you're going to see the growth, because then people are looking for that. They're actively searching for that. I think that with the Xbox marketing, that we're not quite there yet. That you see mobile, you see PC users exploring that as a piece of potential, but you know, we see more natural, I would say, advertisement or marketing towards, hey, look at this person playing Fortnite, look at this person playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, that's just because they're the ridiculous top games, aren't they? And you know, there's always a mix of this kind of lean towards the BRs.
Well, but that's everywhere.
At the same time, though, Mixer knows. You're talking about unique. Mixer knows that is. Some people do this uniquely. But I'm generalizing. Some people do stream that and are still unique, but they are partnering less people that do that. Unless they're huge,
right?
Like they're given more opportunities. I mean, I saw someone get partner for doing web shows that was under 2K,
right?
So, and that's because they had such a unique kind of thing, and they were doing like all web shows. And,
I assume you're talking about Mixity.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I'm so glad she got it.
No, so am I.
Yeah. But like that was unique content.
Right.
Completely unique content, and it wasn't just the same old recycled sort of stuff over and over again.
Well, and you're absolutely correct, Metro. I mean, like that's Hype Zone has been the focus point of Mixer, and I think they're slowly starting to shift away from it. And I think that's what's so beautiful, is that they're expanding their horizons as the world expands their view on what they want to watch, what they want to see. And IRL's the proof of that. You know, everything has become who's got the better cake. A co-stream bake-off. Oh, God. The Great British Baking Show.
The Great British Mixer Bake-Off. We can get a mixer out. You know, when you Google Mixer, it comes up with food mixers.
Yeah.
Google Mixer right now.
Mixer Hype Zone. Mixer v Mixer Hype Zone.
Mixer Hype Zone. The Mixer Bake Zone. The Mixer Bake Zone.
The Baker Hype Zone.
And I ended up doing this instead. I actually was going to do a baking stream, but I'm worried. I've never streamed from my phone before, so I don't know how it would work. I'm worried about like how you do it.
Well,
is it hard? Has anyone done it before?
I've streamed from the phone. The hardest thing that you have to worry about is connection quality. But other than that, like Streamlabs actually has.
It just be downstairs in my house.
Streamlabs actually has an application that you can download, and you can create mobile-based overlays. Before you didn't. I have not streamed. Okay, all right. Well, it was free.
Not anymore.
Well, that sucks. But no, I mean, at worst. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you would. I mean, you could honestly just set it up on a tripod, flip it around to where, you know, like you've got front facing and you can see what chat looks like, and have someone else helping reading it, doing that kind of a thing.
Another thing that I could do is, I'm getting all technical now. Another thing that I could do is export everything onto my laptop and then set it all up like that. But that sounds like a huge fuck around.
Right. Well, and
oh gosh.
Metro, to your point, that's what I love about you know, being a variety streamer personally and not being tied down to one game, is that like I know it's genuine. I know people are there for me. They don't care what I'm playing, because I'll play stupid mobile games or, you know, web-based games, and people are still here at the end of the day. Like they just don't care, and that's what I love about that, is that I know I'm not losing anyone. And, you know, if I were only playing one title, if I were only playing Fortnite, if I were only playing, you know, name any game, then the moment you swap, you lose 80% of your audience, supposedly.
I heard that's the worst with Fortnite.
Yeah.
People kept saying that to me about GTA, but it's really not been a huge... I think the GTA community is generally older than the Fortnite community. And being older makes a difference in terms of, I don't want to say the word loyalty.
Well, there's wisdom.
People coming to your stream and sort of connecting with you. And obviously I'm, you know, nearly 30 years old, so I'm going to connect better with people that are not children.
Well, they're more socially invested.
I I want Solsey RP GTA. Maybe. I'm thinking about it.
Do it.
About it.
Do
Maybe.
it.
I don't know if my computer's gonna hack because I use one computer. I don't know if it's gonna hack. Like streaming that, like, and running a game. I don't know how it's gonna go down.
Do it.
Oh gosh.
Also,
Maybe,
don't
but
melt
not-
your computer
not-
though. Don't do it though. Like, if it's gonna
Don't
melt your
melt it.
computer and risk your content creation, then don't do it. Get yourself vested
shouldn't
first
do.
place. But what you should do is definitely make a
6
goal
out of
that
8,
allows
oh
you
my
to
God.
set up for RP.
MBM is Animal Crossing still up there? I love that Animal Crossing's been up there for so long. I love it. I love it. It's been so good. Normally Switch games die within 24 hours. I got Luigi's Mansion. I streamed it 2 days in a row, and on the second day it had like 30 viewers total in the whole category. I was like, what is this? Like, what happened? We went from thousands to like 2 viewers. Not in the partners, but like, oof.
Rotating partners. I mean, and I've seen it, Metro. Like, admittedly, I've never seen Raw up there, and I've seen her push just as many numbers as some of your partners that are in that rotating section. I've never seen you up there, and I've seen you on Paladin's days sometimes hit 250. You're hosted by Channel 1, but you're not on rotating partner, not on that carousel.
I've got all Fortnite apart from one of
I'm just saying.
the mixer keeps recommending me the same person. Like since they changed it up, every time I go on the homepage, they always recommend the same person.
And I would agree, Metro. Like, these are those things that, and maybe it's the business piece, right? Like, maybe that just doesn't bring in the bills. That doesn't bring in the
No, it
nickels
must
and
do.
dimes that
It must
you
do,
normally
it's
would
just
see
not
from
what they choose to
BR.
promote.
Well, right, but like you do see support from a channel like Raw, like her.
I've been in there a lot.
Oh my
so,
God,
yeah.
it's great. Like, she definitely has a loving community, and she knows what the hell she's doing. She knows her business model, and she's definitely exploding. I mean,
When
she's
I
blowing
first
up.
met her, she was doing a stream about. That's how I got drawn to her. She was doing a stream about like streaming and camera equipment and stuff. And we had a conversation about cameras. I'm not in there all the time because we're on a different time zone.
Right.
But yeah, like that kind of stuff is like super interesting to me. And obviously she does like horror stuff. And I think it's hard to be a horror streamer on Mixer. I've known a fair
Absolutely.
few people struggle. I know someone who had to apply the partner like 1,000 times to get it doing horror games. It's crazy.
No, I would agree. I mean, we used to do Freaky Fridays. I would play horror games, and I would turn off all the lights except for my strobe light that's in front of me, and people would just blow me up and try and scare the ever-living crap out of me. They loved it. I mean, it was definitely interactive, but
Yeah.
it's hard to grow. Like, just being realistic, there's only so many horror streams that are out there. And, I mean, let's just face it, I'm trying to compete against
DVDs.
Raw. I would rather just let her have it. She can just
Yeah.
take it. I want to support that lady, so she can have that audience.
She's Positive K. I know Positive K from Twitter.
Yeah, and so do I. She's a great personality. I think,
she's
admittedly
lovely.
enough, she's positive, pun intended.
Haha. Positive now. It's positive. with a pour in it.
Positive. Got it. There's like at least 5 toe beans in there. Got it. So, real question then, obviously because of time conscious. What do we have any questions from the audience that would love to ask, Solsey, that they may have not had the opportunity to, or maybe that have come up in our conversation and back and forth?
Deathly silence. You know what I need? I need a tumbleweed animation for across my
there you
street
go.
when I ask the chat a question and it goes woo.
I like you, IP. What do you like? Wait, what? I'm not sure I understand that.
I know Bamland from my streams. Though. I'm not sure what he's on.
Gotcha.
About, though.
7-3 brandaholic.
What
do you got, Metro?
originally?
What? Sorry, what'd you say?
I just wonder what Positive Key was called originally.
Canadian kitty cat.
Are you from
All right.
Canada? If not, that makes no sense.
What's your
What's your
favorite
favorite
eggplant
eggplant
emoji? Nice. Sorry, go ahead.
Mine, mine from my Discord. It's like a little squirting eggplant, but it's got like a really cute blushy face. The guy that did my Discord emotes and my animation, not animations, my like panels and stuff, he makes the cutest thing his name's Zapperman he's on Fiverr. It's like Xapimon, and he made eggplants cute as hell. It's so cute. Why do you love me? That's like a comment.
No answer. Sorry, Metro.
I have no
You're
answer.
screwed, buddy.
I can't answer it. Oh my. No answer. I'm just that cold.
Oh, Tech, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Anyone else have any questions, or Solsey, do you have any questions for me?
When are you gonna change your name?
Oh man, shots fired.
Oh, man.
All right, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I will.
Oh.
And so the one reason for that is I played pro with this. So there's a bit of a background to it that technically if someone went really out of their way to go searching for it back when I was in the professional circuit in 2005, someone could find me. I have it tattooed on me.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No, it's definitely not. But and again, because I was a team member. That was my name. I was always Hammer. And back when I was growing up, Lead Speak was.
You just have a little picture of a hammer.
I do. That's my icon.
Oh.
That's what my icon is.
Oh,
is a hammer.
I didn't even. Oh, I meant for the tattoo.
Oh yeah, it is. No, it is. It's pretty much almost the exact same thing.
The letters. It's just a picture of a hammer.
Well, it's technically both. So it's the picture of the hammer, and there's like a little bit of like a fire to it, and then at the bottom in like a scriptum, it's my name.
Can you just get hammer as a mixer name? Is that a name that you can get?
Yeah, it's taken. And that guy, I think
unfortunate.
he has like one follower or something like that. So technically, I could. I mean.
Ham.
But yeah, exactly. But that's my real name. That's my doxed. You found me. You know where my house is in the world. That's my name right there. So yeah. But no, yeah, I have such a background with it, and it's more of like a point of pride. I guess like I've had a lot of people that tell me like there's no way that you're ever going to be professional. There's no way that you're ever going to succeed if you continue to use a name that has numbers in it.
You can't succeed. It's just that you're making things harder for you.
Oh, absolutely.
I firmly believe that you can. It's just that people like me are going to be trying to find your channel, typing it in, and then like, well, not me because I put effort in, but a lot of people that can't be bothered are going to be like typing it in, and then they can't like type it in, and then just get frustrated and don't do it. That was what I thought about my name.
No,
Anyway, that's
absolutely.
why I changed it.
Well, and there was a piece to it too. When I was originally thinking about the name, like we as humans, we don't have too much. We don't have too much of a trouble remembering anything less than 7 characters. So if it's a string of numbers, a string of characters, most people can remember 6.
I wanted a single word name. Mm-hmm. That was what I wanted because I thought that was more personal to like it being like a name, as in like my name rather than a brand. Do you know what I mean? That was for me. But then if you look at like MDM,
very Metro,
like you remember his name because it's like it just I don't know, it just clicks together, and also you can shorten it to MDM as well.
Right.
So yeah, I mean you can have it as like a sentence that clicks together nicely, but that's sort of where Soul Survivor and stuff came from.
Well, and I definitely thought about it. I've definitely thought about trying to shift the name over to something that's a little bit more I would say professional or tangible, but it's always. I don't know. I would say that the point of contention is just around the history behind the name and the fact that someone could technically go to the point of saying, no, he did do this, he did do X, he did do Y as a research. So when I say I'm a ex-pro MLG player for Halo, go look it up. I don't care. Go find it. You're gonna have trouble because it was more than 15 years ago, but good luck.
I think, yeah. I think that when you rebrand, if you're just very clear that that's what you do, I'd never say it again because it was a big rebrand.
Right.
We changed everything, all the overlays, everything. Right. But if you're just really consistently updating people about it, and I was just constantly telling people that, all the redirects moved now, you're going to have to save my actual channel now and that kind of stuff. Yours only changed a little bit though, like recently, Key. So it wasn't like I can't find you now. Like it's quite similar. But yeah, as long as you keep people informed and stuff, they'll still know it's you. And
Absolutely.
for me, it was a very positive thing. Just taking the numbers out for me was a very positive thing.
Right.
But then obviously we went further and completely changed the name, which has been positive as well. But yeah, just think about the guy that's typing it in.
Oh no, I did when I was originally making the channel or thinking about getting into streaming, it was brought up.
Yeah.
And it's always been a back and forth. It's always been a back and forth struggle of, is this worth it? Is this not worth it? Is the, you know, the piece behind it, is it really the drive and the motivation? And so like my point was, to the community, to a viewer, to an onlooker, it becomes more challenging. To the professional side, if I can back up my character and looking for a sponsorship and say that, no, I did do this professionally and my word matters. You know, when I say that this is a good mouse and it helps me be more accurate, there's a flip side to it. So like it's a one way or another, and it's been a constant back and forth battle on the is this worth it, is it not? So I get it. I mean, it's always up for discussion. I definitely think that people would follow me if I changed my name, if I swapped my name, but
don't think that people
it's there.
would abandon you.
Oh,
Like
no,
the
I
main
don't.
thing that I would say. Like,
I
that's
don't.
The main thing. Don't ever think that, because they still find you.
Oh man,
So
stalkers. Oh.
outside your window.
Ugh, good.
Yeah, it's just something to think about, because I made that mistake and it was so bad for me that I just like to let people know.
Right.
So yeah.
No, I don't. It's possible. Who knows? I don't know what I would change it to. Giant cat lover. I like cats. Worship of cats.
Something with hammer in it. Something with hammer in it. 'Cause I literally thought your name was Hammer 32. I'm not even.
Right. No, I get it. I get it.
I thought it was Ham 32.
And it's just it's the other funny thing is, it's just my age. Like, I'm just showing my age that like literally go as far back as 2002 when Leet Speak was still prolific, and there I am. Like that was my history. That's when I was, you know, in my prime
Hammer
of
and
playing.
Kitties.
Hammer and Kitties. There you go.
Okay, Hammer Time. Hammer Time might be cool. Hammer Time.
Velvet Hammer. Ooh.
Ooh. Velvet Hammer, but without the 30. Can we just get rid of the 32? Why are we adding the 32?
The Velvet
Hammer Time would
Ham.
be good. Or Hammer Show. I'm just trying to rebrand you now.
Well, yeah. So any other ooh, gross. Thanks Karma. I appreciate you. I would only expect anything like that from an alien. Appreciate it. Thank you. Very, very loving. Very supportive. That's Karma.
Change that, please. But it has to have the 3 and the 2 in it.
Yeah, hemorrhoids. Got it. Delicious. But no, yeah. So I don't know if we have any. Do we have any other questions for Solsey out there before we swap over to a little Jackbox action for anyone who wants to partake?
You need that tumbleweed. Why you just
Are you okay? I don't know. Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? I can't do that. We have this like little sad animation on my channel, and I can't do it without laughing.
Extreme close up. Bro,
I've got a close-up
extreme close up. Extreme close up. You want? All right,
Let's see
I'll give it
yours.
to
I
you.
wanna see
I'll give it
yours.
to
Show
you.
me
So
yours.
here's full cam, and then there's the 2x. Let's
I can't
whoa,
see it.
oh
It's really
oh yeah,
late.
no.
I'm miles
Oh no,
behind.
okay, all right,
Give
all
me
right.
5 minutes
So
and I'll
okay,
catch
5
up.
minutes to catch up. So anyone else who doesn't need to catch up, here's the regular full cam, and then there's the
it is.
2x, and then there's the 4x, and then there's the 8x, because you got to really drive it home. If you're not driving it home, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're missing. It's all about the good experience in life.
It's frozen. I can't see it.
Oh no, it's frozen.
I can't see. Oh my
I just want to see.
I just want to see the giant face. For God's sake, stream, why? And I need to see me again. I was like, you know when you shove me off stage, you should have like some sort of animation that just goes, whoop.
Oh, just like.
Or like a kit. You could put a little boot in.
Actually, you know, we were working with something recently. I've been trying to teach myself how to animate, and it's been challenging.
It's hard. It's hard. I can do a few things, but I can make things rain. If you ever need some rain, I got you.
It's let me see if I can drag this over.
Oh,
how can I?
It knocks me off stream. That'd work.
Let me get there.
You guys can't hear the music. I'm just dancing to music. I'm assuming you got music in your stream.
Hey, we don't need to know about the weekend making it rain. Just drops down from his camera box.
What?
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. So like, let's see. Whoa.
My camera keeps wobbling. Whenever I laugh, it wobbles.
So we've been. Whoa. Okay, let me close this because that's not gonna work.
Make it rain.
Make it rain, bro.
I could basically make. Oh, this reminds me. I'm gonna do a video at some point where I'm gonna give you guys an Ember alert because I made like an Ember alert that like where embers rain down over your screen, and it was inspired by the partner sub alerts that you guys have. Although it can only go over your over like the mix. The power in that laugh that it shakes your cat. I wish I had a changer right now.
We're working on this. Let me. Oh, Shep.
Oh no, you kicked me off again.
All right. So basically is I have to because this is how I have my window capture set up. Is that basically there's this hammer and it just slowly scrolls out to throw you out, but we're working on it so that way we can try and get everything set up. I think it's
me and then it will kind of boot me off screen.
Yeah, right, but no, so it's fun. We're working on some things, but it's been a challenge trying to understand how to animate because I have no idea what I'm doing. Literally no idea what I'm doing.
YouTube. That's how I learn how to edit videos. I just watch lots of YouTube.
I'm a hands-on person, so I just click stuff and watch that it doesn't work.
Thousands.
And then I go from there. But no, yeah, YouTube tutorials are always fancy.
Yeah.
We were looking at that too, Darian. We were definitely looking almost at exactly that. We were talking about turning it into a transparent overlay where it would just crack like glass and then shatter. But
I can't do that fancy. I can only make things rain.
Yeah, so it's always a challenge. I'm learning how to make stingers. Dude, stingers are fun. And transitions is my hard piece because if I do one with the zooming in, it becomes challenging too, but oh yeah, Jer Henning. He does the man, what is it? It starts with a V. Oh god. Why am I blanking? Vector art. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, he does vector art. Oh, I mean, hey, chat, I'll take it from anyone. I know I didn't get it. That's what I know. But no, yeah, he's a great guy. We've already had a discussion about it. Yep.
What was that program that MBM was? I watched a stream character himself, and it was like Photoshop, but it wasn't
GIMP?
Photoshop. It was like free. No, it wasn't GIMP. It was something look better.
Affinity Designer?
That's it. That's the one. I need to have a look at that at some point. That's free, right? That's free, isn't it? Am I right in saying that's free? Yeah, they made like a little cartoon character for himself out of shapes.
It's on sale.
Really cute. Ooh. I still need to at some point look into XSplit.
Oh well, 25 isn't bad for a program. 3 months free.
Cheap. I paid 30 quid a month, right, for my Adobe Suite. But I use Premiere a hell of a lot and Photoshop a little bit. I use mostly Premiere.
Well, so
I love Premiere.
If you want to drop down some of your cost, I know it's a free program, but what is it like VSDC? It's a video editor. It seems very, very similar to what I've experienced with Premiere. Okay. I haven't done anything with After Effects, so like I'm not an animator. But the thing that I would see more benefit from would be Lightroom, just because of my actual camera. That would be heavily beneficial to me, and so it's definitely something I've thought of. And on the high end, if I got to a point where I was a little bit more financially stable, I would definitely consider it. But as of right now, it's not a full benefit to me. But
I was like that. I only paid for Photoshop for the longest time, and then I used like free softwares for editing. But that was when I was just doing little videos for my stream, and I didn't really think it was worth investing in like a proper editing software for like a little pop-up. You know what I mean? don't buy editing software for that. But it was, I only kind of got the full suite when I started doing YouTube. That's when I started doing that, and then I realized that I really like the program, the application.
Right. So Affinity apparently is a really good one for you. Yeah, see, I was using DaVinci Resolve, but it kept on throwing up watermarks on my compressed stuff. So I swapped to VSDC. It's been working for me. The layout's exactly like what I was familiar with Premiere. So I was familiar with using Premiere, just didn't want to pay for Premiere. And so now I'm using that. It's been working. I can do cut clips and things like that. I can do transitions. I can do slide effects and dissolves and all that normal stuff. So it'll be fine. For the purpose that I want to use it for, it'll be fine. But I would recommend it. But I would recommend DaVinci Resolve. I just, for whatever reason, it always wants to throw watermarks onto my stuff. So I never used it.
That's annoying. You can't use Premiere. It never made sense to me. Now After Effects is. That you and I have the exact opposite opinion. I can't use After Effects. It makes no sense to me at all. I can make things rain, but that's all I can do. Like, I can make anything rain. If you come into my stream, there's so many rain alerts. If you want alert, I can only do rain.
Bro, I know just where to go. All right. So any person who comes in and they're like, "Hey, by the way, can you do like making it rain effects?" I'll be like, "No, but I know who can." Let me tell you.
That's one thing I can do. That's one thing I can do. Anything else? No. Make it rain. Yes.
That's the next goal. So
dollar bills,
dollar bills everywhere.
Rain, ember rain. Oh, I don't think we've got money rain. Money rain's harder because you have to make it fold. Like, money's supposed to fold when it rains. You can actually also get chroma for money rain for free. That's what I used to have.
Well, so it doesn't seem like we have a ton more questions from the audience, unless anyone has thought of anything in the past 5 minutes after making it rain, and what programs we're using to edit videos, edit content, really drive that. If anyone else has anything, last call. Anyone? We're just gonna skip over that one. Anyone else? Bueller? Bueller?
Wow. Is that meant to be like? Wow.
No, that's his it's that twang, that southern Metro Birdman twang.
I can't quite do it.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
So we've now transitioned the entire interview into everyone attempting to be Metro Birdman and say wow. Just your best impersonation. Oh wow.
Are you gonna send Hammer that cardboard cutout of yourself?
Yeah, we need that. We need that so I can
and
do.
And he's gonna put a suit on, and he'll be best dressed streamer.
Second best mixer stream. One of these days I'm gonna see if I can attract Metro Birdman's attention with that title and see if we can pull him in.
Second best dressed.
Yeah, second best dressed on Mixer. We're gonna do it. We're gonna exactly. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
This is my thing.
Excuse me. Get out of here.
Set it up. Get with Apache and set it up. We will. We will.
Scene. Oh my God.
I'll get one of those takedown notices from Mixer. Excuse me, we recently.
My eyes are watering.
Awesome. Remove this man's channel, Mixer. Get on this now. He stole my brand.
He stole my suit. My eyes keep worrying. This is ridiculous.
All I can imagine right now is Joe Exotic blaming me, like that exact voice, like, yeah, you know who's responsible for stealing my brand, for stealing my suit? Carol Baskins. Thank you, Metro, for putting up with me. It's been a pleasure. Either way, it has been a real pleasure, Solsey. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down to answer some questions. Oh, wait. We've got one.
Do you think video editing is important thing as a streamer? Well, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about creating content on other platforms, doesn't it? I can't remember if you were here when I was saying that. Because one of the big things that I tell people to do if they ask for advice, I don't just randomly give it out. If they ask for like advice on what to do, is getting a social media presence and creating content on more discoverable platforms. And honestly, that what I just said isn't original coming from me. That's coming from big Twitch streamers. Like it's a piece of advice that I took and it's helped me so much, because, and I said this earlier, but I'm just gonna repeat it in case you weren't here then. It's Mixer, Twitch, they're not discoverability platforms, whereas like YouTube, I mean, NPM pre this, I've heard him say this in his stream, like YouTube and Twitters and TikTok, they're discoverability platforms. So, you know, if you want your content to be seen, you need to look at getting it discovered rather than sitting in the bottom of a massive long list of other streamers.
Right. I mean, you got to work for it.
That helped me so much more. But editing videos doesn't have to be like this overly complex, stressful thing. I mean, I used to over edit crap out of making YouTube videos. I'm still new. I'll probably hate what I make now in 2 months' time. But it's better to, I think, make content and grow at making content than to not make content because you're worried it will be no good. That's my opinion. Like, because the amount of times I put off making content because I was like, oh, I can't edit this fancy way, so no one will want to watch. And then people still liked it. Like, people still like the vlogs that I've done. So it's kind of like, just make the content. Right. You're growing.
Right. Well, and people love the story, I think. So, like, you know, when you're sitting there and they can see the growth potential, they can see that, oh, they're doing X, now they're doing Y, now they're doing Z, and I can see the progression, I can see the story, then it's the transparency. It's the, I know I'm not great, I'm still going to try, and we're going to continue to grow together. We're in this together because this is our content. It's not my content, it's ours. Like, we're all in this as a community.
The worst thing you can do is not try.
Right.
You'll only fail if you just don't try, like, and you don't grow. It's trying. It's looking at what you've done. It's recognizing the mistakes. It's improving, and then repeating that, and repeating that, and repeating that, and repeating that until you get good.
Right.
That's basically it.
So I guess
you don't grow while you're live. I actually do grow offline. Yeah, I recently have started growing offline. And I honestly, I was like, how is this happening? Sometimes I grow more offline than.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's crazy.
It gets to a point where when you're pulling in from Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or, you know, whatever your media platform is, sometimes you just have better days from that.
When I'm particularly active on YouTube and Twitter, I pull from there so much more. Like, because I can stream 4 hours of Animal Crossing and not get that many follows. It's not a high follow game, like, you know, like GTA is, but then I'll get, like, the same amount in the same day from, you know, just producing a video.
Yeah. So
and I think that once you get bigger on other platforms, that statement is truer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for me, I'm only growing a little bit, but for some people, they're growing massively. It's about not disappearing. And that's why the social media and the YouTube is important, because people have got content to absorb when you're offline, because you're not going to constantly be online all the time, even if you're streaming 6 to 7 days a week. So people need something in that gap.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So
Darian had a question. Is live editing a necessity, or is it all right to just have some necessary transitions like a be right back screen?
It's like, I mean, how fancy a stream looks is like, it's not really like a huge priority in my opinion.
Well, and it's different for everyone, I would say.
Yeah, Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, if you're someone that's bells and whistles aren't needed at first, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Well, it's just that I know that I made the mistake when I started of trying to be too fancy, and I was all bells and whistles and no actual content. Do you know what I mean? It was, and that's the problem that you don't want to fall into. You don't want to
Yeah.
be just kind of only looking at the tech and only looking at the designs and that kind of stuff. And it also goes back to what I was saying earlier about how when you first start, you're not going to know what your brand is. So don't spend a load of money getting all this stuff done.
Absolutely.
Try and make stuff if you can. Like that, or do something else. Go to Nerd or Die, which I think MBM, aren't you a partner with them or something? You get money, right? If people use your code, go to like Nerd or Die, buy a packet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, those packages are good. They're good.
I spent 10 quid on my alerts, and that's like host, follow. I think it has donation in there if I wanted to use it. You import it into Streamlabs. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not custom to me, but a lot of them you can use. Stream Elements is another one. They can customize it. You can put your own, like tags and stuff in. Don't worry too much about getting stuff custom done or any of that kind of stuff. Just get a package so it looks half decent once you're at the point of needing overlays.
Which I would agree. Darian, we actually covered that earlier in the interview. I'll end up posting it up on YouTube, but we kind of basically had stated that it wasn't a necessity, but it does add a lot of value to it. That, it depends on the person, but there are a lot more people that end up with, I would say, more relationship-driven communities when they have the capability to interact with the streamer through a face cam, because you can see those interactions. You can see the effect that it has on an individual. I
would say that the bare minimum that you need is a microphone.
Yes.
Because I can't even be in a stream that hasn't got a microphone. Yep. I once raided a stream that didn't have a mic, and I didn't realise because I don't listen to it before I go in, because otherwise it broadcasts it to my stream. And I was like, oh, how do I manage in here? If you feel that you can get a cam, and if you get what's the one that people are still buying now, the Logitech
C920.
Yes, that one. People, it's still the best one. Still the best one. The price bracket is still the best one. And that's like 30 quid or something. It's not insane money. Like, it's not insane. You can plug it into an Xbox via USB, because that was like that was my first camera.
Here's the sales pitch. Metro's bringing the sales pitch.
Hashtag ad. You know how to solve that. What?
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that Go XLR was coming in. I knew it.
Set your Google to game channel on the Go XLR. But my games broadcast through my... I suppose I could mute my game, couldn't I? The problem is, MBM, I'm basically using every freaking thing. My XLR is a beast. Like, it's got a bit nuts. Like, I've got so many things. I'm using my sampler to basically, what was I using it for? It's so that I could I can't remember. It's all messy. I don't want to mess with it. I guess I could put on a channel. That is a point, because I'd like to be able to hear stream that I want to raid,
right? But
not broadcast it. That is a point.
Well, and so
yeah, I've got the optical cable. That's when my console goes in.
I know.
Unless it's a Switch, because that's an aux port. That's line in for Switch. I use line in for Switch.
I know one of the things that you can do is basically set it to where the channel doesn't go to output, but it can still go to the PC. You could do that through virtual cable.
Oh, I don't like
I know. I mean, Metro and I have had the discussion that everything he has is through hardware, and that it's reliable. Yeah. And I would agree that it's definitely more reliable. I would prefer to ultimately do that way, but it's also given me the luxury of exploring that. Yes, yeah. I mean, I've seen XLR Mini, but cost-wise. So if I were going to do the XLR Mini, I could get like that Scarlett, and just run XLR, since I already have everything virtualized. I just want to get a cleaner sound, which I could get through XLR. So
yeah, it's going through my games. I'd have to look at it, but yeah, it's going through my console. I think I'm using all of it. What I'm trying to say. Let me get it up. Rooted. Yeah, I'm using. Oh, actually no. No! Oh, I'm an idiot!
That's actually not true, Blood.
console. Or actually, just I don't know. I think I'm on the wrong profile. Well, I'll work it out. Console is going to be the optical cable, right? I've also got game as well. I could put it through game. Is that what you were trying to say?
So, Blood, I don't use Firefox, I use Edge, but you can individually set each program to be chosen where they're sent through sound settings. So you can literally pick every application, everything on your entire platform, and then choose where you want to send the sound. So when I have everything virtualized, I can send it to like Profile 5, which only sets out in, let's say, my outbound speaker set of 2, which doesn't go through stream, but I can hear it through here. So it's complex. I've spent a lot of time setting up my audio, but I pretty much have everything to where it's perfected now. If you need help with that, Blood, let me know. I'll help you try and figure it out.
You know what I could use? NBM. I could use the game one, definitely. Like what you're doing, and then I could just have it only set to headphones. But then the only problem would be is if I wanted the stream to be able to listen to it, I'd have to work that out. Because I'm already using all 4 sliders, you see. Because I have like music, I have my game, I have my alerts, and then I have the 4th one. Mic. That was it, mic. Need that mic on there.
How you doing, Fly?
Apparently, I just had an update earlier for the Go XLR, and they said they're going to integrate with the Stream Deck. I saw an update for integrating with the Stream Deck, so hopefully, soon.
Casper with the host, thank you.
Yes. That's what I was just saying. I'm not repeating my. I haven't got the update, but soon I'll be able to do it.
So, with everything a little bit more on the concluded side, then I would say that it's been fantastic having you here, Solsey.
After this.
And
awesome.
I appreciate the time, the investment of time, and obviously it's a little later where you are, but anyone who wants to stick around. We're going to be doing our normal transition where we swap over to Jackbox games, and everyone can try and play along. So anyone who wants to stay, we would ask that you do. I'm going to be doing a BRB, so I can go use the bathroom, grab some more water and coffee, and then come back to that. But anyone who wants to, please feel free. Darian, thank you so much for the host. And Solsey, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us, expending the time, and helping us get to know you. It's been a pleasure.
My Discord's on my other screen. I'm going to try and awkwardly leave.
Oh, awkwardly leave. Okay, all right.
Awkwardly. It's going to be really awkward.
What I'll do is I'll pretend to keep on talking, and then you can hit the button.
Just keep talking.
And then
I'll slip out. And then I'll suddenly be gone. I'll see you later, guys.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. No, not a problem. It was great. It was great to have your input.
See you later.
See ya. So guys, super fantastic having everyone here. Greatly appreciate you guys taking the time to sit back and enjoy some moments with us. That was Solsey. Do we have any mods out there? Can we get a shout out for Solsey for her wonderful time that she took answering a handful of questions, and some of them pretty challenging. I think. Thank you, Karma. Oh, sorry, that's my fault. I turned that off so people couldn't flash us and throw on disco music. Try again, Karma. Yeah, that's my fault. Thank you, Karma. But fantastic stuff. I know we definitely threw her a little bit through the ropes, putting on some of those, again, more challenging questions to get involved and to really get to know, I think personally, what's driving the platform and what's changing the future of streaming as a whole. I think that there are so many great things that we can look forward to, and it's content creators like Solsey that really drive to get us to think, that get us to invest, that get us to just want to involve ourselves and want us to do more and just be more as humans interacting with other humans. And those are the people that I love, and it's the exact same that you guys saw from even Mr. Starfish on Sunday, that I want to continue to go out there and meet, to go out there and hear from, and really get us all thinking, because I think it helps us grow. I think it helps us expand the way that we view culture, society, and the community as a whole. Blood Devil, thank you so much for that beautiful follow. Welcome to the vault, and thank you for becoming a vault dweller. Which actually I think I owe curls out now, because we should be another 5 up. So I appreciate that. But it's been great to have you guys all. Anyone from Solsey's community, the Eggplant Kingdom, we appreciate you being here. And anyone who's become a dweller, thank you. Welcome to the vault. So I got to rep these out here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do these every 5 followers. Every 5 followers that we get, I do a set of 10, one on each side. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Been fantastic. Thank you guys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to end up swapping over to Jackbox in order to get a little enjoyment, make things a little bit more interesting, and harass each other with some interesting moments, or humorous moments, I guess would be a little bit more appropriate, because what's not fun about poking people and trying to make them think that they're aliens and finding out that someone else is an alien and getting sucked down into space? Because that's love. So, without further ado, we will end up swapping over to BRB. Feel free, take the time, grab yourself a drink, and then let's get ready to sit down and have some fun together. I'm going to turn on some music here for you guys, and we'll get it blasting in about 10 or so minutes. Thank you, Jispy, for the host. Draven Draconis, again, thank you for the host as well. And here you guys go.